Hello, everybody. I'm DM Craig.
I'm Silver.
I'm Dalhis.
And I'm Lucia.
And welcome back to Valaclaci.
Yay! Glad to be back.
The real Valaclaci.
So, none of that weird pumpkin shit from like 3 weeks ago. That shit's out. We are, where'd we leave off at? So you guys, the general story arc so far has been, you guys started in Valethorn, you guys all got together, you got jailed, you sprinted out of jail after a little bit, realized some of Silver's, old buddies, as I'll say, were chasing him down, old friends. And so you guys kind of took off from Valethorn and ended up in Arire. And from Arire, you guys decided, hey, let's go down to Lucia's, where she grew up, the church where she grew up. So you guys took a couple-week journey down to the Landfest Woods, to the Church of Apollo, in which we find out is one of the few remaining Church of Apollos. Maybe the last one, we don't know, but at least one of the remaining few Church of Apollos. You guys got a lot of story there. You guys got a lot of figuring out what's going on in this world right now, to where the group that had Silver definitely working on something bad.
And they have my brother.
And they have Dalhis's brother. So what'd you guys do last time? I think you guys you started off the day making a couple new weapons, right? Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah. We made some. I made some special armor for Lucia. And also made some weapon adjustments. Got Dalhis's
I have
custom
Dragon Tooth.
Yeah, Dragon Tooth. Got a custom badass weapon. Honestly, that's probably one of the coolest design weapons that I've seen. So that was pretty exciting. And then, of course, Lucia had been wielding a giant. What was it? A mace before that?
Yeah, I was carrying around a mace that I didn't even like to use.
Yeah, so we made some adjustments, and I made her a spear. All right, isn't that correct? And it's so now everyone is. We have basically a pole weapon, a sword weapon, and then a whatever the hell Dalhis's thing is.
Farming utensil.
Yeah.
Farming utensil turn.
Yeah.
Pole weapon.
Turn.
But that thing. And then but
it is effective.
Yeah, absolutely it is. So Silver got to stretch out his metallurgy skills, and that felt good.
So after you guys got all that together, I believe it was the last thing you guys were saying was, hey, we should go out and kind of test our weapons and see what's going on with this.
Yeah. And we had kind of a vague idea of like, well, we'll walk between, where we were coming from in Arire and looking. We basically went out looking for trouble, essentially. And we found it.
We did.
You guys had yourself a little battle in the woods.
I so wish that snipe shot would have worked, though. It's like, as the guy was running, remember that? It's like that was a heck of a snipe shot, though. Oh.
Yep. So you guys find yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just a handful of days outside of Arire in the woods there, and you guys have a map now. You guys bought the map in Arire, right? That's where you bought that Dalhis, or all three of you, but he went and grabbed it.
I bought it.
So you guys have like a little map, and it's just of the region, or I don't know if I want to call it country. Because I feel like to me,
region's
this world
fine.
is so this is just a little region here, and you guys are split between a city you've never been to before, Davy, and Arire right now. But the goal was to go back to Arire because I think you guys had some questions. I know at least Lucia had some questions going back into Arire, or things about Arire she was concerned about. And then I know Dalhis was wanting to go back to check out the fighting tournament.
Of course.
That was potentially going down.
Oh, boy.
I could be rich beyond imagination.
At this point,
Dalhis didn't forget about that. Is that what you're telling me?
No, not when the DM reminds him. So I think that's about where that brings us. That's a very, very general overview of the entire campaign so far. So you guys, whatever, all of you fell asleep and no one attacked you. You guys all got lucky at the end after that fight, and you're all fully rested up, full hit points, full everything. Got your spells.
We didn't actually have to roll for this. That's how we got lucky.
You guys are all good. You guys are all good to go. So you guys are hanging out in the woods outside of Oriar. So you guys can take it from here if there's anywhere you guys are wanting to go or what you're wanting to do.
I'm imagining them sitting around the campfire as the morning starts and at this point Silver's just basically gonna turn to the group. Guys, plan still to go back to Oriar? Or we change of course?
Lucia shrugs her shoulders.
Doll hiss, buddy. I would say it's either we go to Davy or Oriar. It's your choice.
Well, we haven't been to Davy before. I wonder if they offer more gold for a fighting tournament.
They probably do.
Oh God.
Well, let's go there then.
Silver immediately gets a headache. All right, buddy. If that's where you guys want to go, I just wanted to make sure that we were feeling a little bit more comfortable with our weapons and armor. And I feel like we had a pretty successful test of our stuff yesterday. So if you really feel like Davy's where we need to go, then we can go to Davy. Lucia, and I shoot her kind of a little bit more of a intense glance. Hey, does this actually check out with you? Is this a good plan?
She shrugs her shoulders again.
Good talk.
Good talk.
And he says that, of course. So, okay, I guess we're shifting course from Oriar. It looks like we're heading now more southwest toward Davy, I suppose.
Okay. So that's going to be a 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd say 6-ish day.
That's about the same travel for.
You guys are pretty much right in the middle where you guys left off there. It's still somewhat in the area that I would say Lucia knows, so she's able to help out slightly with movement speed on this one.
Okay.
But Davy, in my head, is not a city she's actually been to. So once you get kind of closer, it's going to be a little less known to you guys.
Okay.
So if you guys are heading that way, can I get a D100 from the first person that can do it?
Okay. Oh, there you go.
Dalhis rolls an 85.
Ooh, 85. Okay. All right. So you guys roll up to Davy. And I'm going to have you guys kind of tell me what you're thinking when you see the city, because I'm going to say, even though there's no mark of it on a map, that you guys kind of crest over a hill at one point when you're walking. And you look over and you just see this expansive city laid out in front of you.
Bigger than Oriar?
And Lucia knows on this one whether or not she's told you guys, maybe she has or whatnot, but this is this is like the capital city of the region. So it's a bigger city than Oriar and Valethorn combined. Like it's I'm not going to say exactly a metropolis, but it's a big city.
She would have definitely probably shared that, because she would probably say something, like a lot of the travelers that they helped were headed probably to that direction, either to or from that city. So she knew it was
okay,
gotcha. Well, in that case, it says as we crest the hill, I turn to the group, go, this looks like a good place to fence our stuff that we got.
fence.
Yes, this is heavy.
Sell legally our wares that we definitely didn't get.
This is heavy. I would be happy to get rid of some of this load.
Silver sweating, white sweat from his brow. Same.
So you guys start heading into town. You see at the front gate, there are some big guards with heavy armor on, posted right outside. You're looking at them, and can you guys all give me perception checks?
Sure.
All his rolls a 7.
Silver rolls a 3. Wow. And Lucia?
Sorry. I always do good on perception checks. I got a 19.
Hey.
That's where all my good rolls
someone
go.
came to play today.
So this was not a very hard check to miss. So Dalhis looks at it and goes, ooh, yeah, I'm Dragonborn. I don't think I'm fucking with these guys. Lucia's like, holy shit, we better not do anything out of the fucking ordinary. Like, we need to make sure to keep our heads down. These guys look like they would look at us and we would just fry. Silver looks at him and goes,
she's gonna kind of put up her hood immediately and just kind of not make eye contact.
Silver looks at him and goes, I could take him.
Oh, God.
yeah, I do. Then I puff my chest out as I walk through.
So yeah, Silver thinks that he would be able to withstand singles combat against these guys. And to where Dalhis, I mean, he's not shaking in his boots, but like he does not like the idea of potentially fighting these guys.
Yeah.
I'm gonna whisper in Draconic, like, don't be stupid.
It's not gonna help.
So Silver hears this daily from her, so it doesn't do anything.
I don't think I was perceptive enough to notice Brian swell out his chest, or Silver, excuse me.
Just
No, yeah. If we're going with that 7, you might not have seen him puff out his chest, but it was a really low check to make sure you knew that these guys would kick your ass. And Silver missed it.
Of course I did.
Okay, so you guys are heading into town. I mean, this place is big. There's a lot of stuff around. You can pretty much find a lot of, not specialty shops, but like any type of like, oh, here's the leatherworking guy. There's like 4 of them. There's the guy that's making armor. There's, a bunch of those. Like the idea that I kind of have for this type of city is think of, you guys, what is it? What's the capital city in Oblivion?
Oh, shoot. Yeah.
I'm looking at Burke while I ask this question.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking that where there's like districts, where
The Imperial City? Isn't it just called the Imperial City?
The Imperial City, yeah. Thank you. Don't take that as the layout, but just think of the idea of
that
there's
much
just
going on.
Yeah, there's just a ton going on. There's a whole residential area. There's a whole.
There's not just one of something.
Just massive, right?
There's quite a few things. There's at least 2 or 3 of pretty much everything. Maybe every once in a while there's a specialty shop that's just one thing. But it's a big city. It's bustling. There's people all over the place. Especially if you were to go into the market district. I mean, there's just people, there's like fish flying, people throwing shit at each other. Here, take this. No, 3 silver pieces for this. Oh, that's horse shit. There's people arguing, talking. It's just chaos, especially comparatively to potentially, I don't know about Silver, where he's been on all of his journeys, but in my eyes, I would assume Dalhis.
I'm wide-eyed.
This is a big new thing, and this is one of the reasons why Lucia had never come here. They never really sent Lucia here on any type of even oh, can you just go get us a gallon of milk, please? She would not have gone here. She would have went to other places that were smaller and less chaotic. So she knew of this place, never had been here. So this is another place that Lucia, in my head, you're looking at going like, oh, wow. Oh, however you react to it, but you are definitely like, holy shit, there's a lot going on here.
Probably very, very obviously both in awe, but also like terrified.
Yeah. And I feel like Silver would have passed through a place like this before, but would have distinctly made the choice not to set up his shop there because there would have been too many people and too many elves for his liking.
Can I ask the guards where the appropriate districts are to sell certain weapons and armor?
Yeah. So they go through and I won't have us role play out this right now because I do not have the map ready for this city. So we'll just have it where it's like yes, you're gonna go up here, you're gonna take a left on Main. You're gonna go 2 wagon stop signs up, and then you're gonna take another right, and they give you the directions down to where where you get to the. They don't give you an exact shop name. They just go, hey, just go to this district over here. It's on this part of the city I'll say to the west. That's subject to change. Head over that way, and that's where you can go through and sell some of your stuff off.
Okay.
So you guys head that direction, and you have a bevy of shops and different places around you.
Okay, I'm gonna walk into the first one that looks like a go with a like a weapon shop. I'm assuming weapons and armor are separate, or would it be in the same shop?
Depends. There's the one place that looks like it just has a shield over top of its thing. The other one has a sword. There's one guy that's like down the street, and he's got a shield and a sword on his. I mean, I'm gonna go
into the just the armor shop and try to sell some chainmail.
Would I have at any point talked to Dalhis and been like, let me try to haggle? Or would he just, or would you think that he would just have like
I would just
right
go straight in unless
That's
you
fine.
stopped me. I would, yeah. Hello, good sir.
Now, what can I do you for?
I have a piece of chainmail shirt that I would like to sell. What would you offer for such a fine piece? And I pull it out of my bag and hold it up and show it to him.
Well, looking at it here, I don't know, there's some scuff marks. Is that blood?
I did stab a man.
And then at that point, I peek out from behind Dalhis and go, what he means to say is that we acquired this through legal means, albeit a bit of a mishap.
A mishap? It was off of a dead, like, oh crap, what did we kill? I don't remember.
I think it was a goblin.
A goblin.
Yeah, let's say goblin.
It was a stupid gaba.
Okay. Brian, can you roll me a bluff, or what's the check for that? I'm trying to remember what the 5e terms are. I'm gonna.
I want to clarify that Lucia decided not to go into this shop, so she's waiting outside the door.
It's persuasion. There's persuasion, performance.
Yeah, persuasion. There you go.
Persuasion. Okay.
We'll do a persuasion.
Yeah, baby. Nat 20.
Okay. And this isn't going to affect your nat 20. Can you Dalhis, can you, I guess I should have been a deception, but I already told you persuasion, so that's what we'll go with. Or I should have done maybe in performance, whatnot. No, okay. I just won't have, just do a straight charisma check real quick.
Me?
Yeah, Dalhis.
Okay. Dalhis rolls a 13.
Okay. I'm just making sure that you weren't completely somehow an asshole or like really vicious with what you were saying about the goblin.
I killed a man. Like, yeah.
Was a little bit racist and called him a gobber, but you know,
yeah. He kind of looks over at Silver and looks over and he thinks, well, maybe, oh, this guy's a little racist, so maybe he's got some, I don't know. Okay, well, I'll trust that. I'll trust that that's what you say. It's still dinged up, so it's not like I can just resell this back up on the market. So, you know, I'll give you 50 gold pieces for it.
Do I think that it's a fair number, given that I would have known about pricings on these things usually?
Is this a chain shirt or a chain mail? I'm so sorry.
Chain shirt.
25 gold pieces is what he said.
I was going to say, holy
25.
shit.
25 gold pieces.
And do I feel like that's fair? Market value?
You know, since you've done the blacksmithing, that you would probably sell a brand new chain shirt for about 50 gold pieces.
Then in that case, I would definitely want to interject and go, it's like, really, we're gonna go down to 25 for this. You might be able to pull the wool over some beginner's eyes, but you know as well as I do, the amount of work and time it would take to repair this thing up to brand new would not cost you 25 gold.
Well, looking at it this way, I see it's decently dinged up. There is definitely some marks here and there from any form of, as you say, acquired by illegal means, and now he's kind of I think he's picking up that maybe it wasn't exactly legal. If I'm gonna take this, I think the best I can do is 30 gold, and I'd be happy if you would take that amount of money and go on your way before anybody else is alerted of how you legally acquired this mail shirt.
That works for me.
Chain mail or chain shirt. Sorry,
I'm happy with that.
And Brian, can you give me an intelligence check?
Yeah, I sure can. Oh God. Oh, it's an intelligence check. Good. It's not wisdom.
No, it's not wisdom.
4. I got a 4.
So you look at it and you're looking at it and you're like, this thing's not all that damaged. Like, I could fix this up in like 2 days, best. max 2 days. I'd be able to fix this thing back up.
So in that case, I go, look, here's the deal. If I were to do this, and because this is, I'd say I can fix this up in 2 days. What if I fix it up, bring it back to y'all shiny and spiffy? Can we renegotiate at that time?
He kind of looks at you and goes, okay. I guess if that's really what you want to do, if you want to spend the next couple weeks just trying to fix this one shirt, that's what you want to do. It's all up to you, man.
It's low intelligence rule.
Well,
I'm looking back and forth, trying to decide and understand what's going on here.
okay.
At that point,
I'll have you roll an intelligence check as well.
Dallas rolls a 0. No fucking clue what's going on. That's not a nat 1.
No,
That's
it's
just
not
a
a nat
0.
1. You rolled a 3, but your intelligence is a -3.
Yes.
Yeah, it's also hilarious because your other one was like a nat 20.
Yeah, the other one was a nat 20.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you have no clue. You're like, I don't know who's right in this situation. Okay. You're
like
just looking back and there's just a question mark over your head.
Yes.
Basically in my mind.
Yes. Okay. At that point, I just go, I just want the gold.
At this point, I go, you
well,
know what we should do?
Well, you do. Dalhis
Okay.
does know, or at least, like, this is Dalhis's shirt, just to make sure, right? This is the one you were
this is
carrying.
Dalhis's shirt that he's trying to sell, and I only interjected because he said that he murdered someone, and I didn't want, I was like, no trouble, no trouble.
It was only a goblin.
At this point, I say, is Lucia coming in to look for us since we've been in here haggling for like an hour?
No.
No, she's just letting us go wild. Oh my god.
She's gonna be standing outside the door, like tapping her feet and being like, but she's not gonna go in.
All right, well then she's gonna hear me yell, Lucia, come here.
Okay, if she hears it, I guess she'll walk in and just kind of be like,
Yeah, she hears it.
As you're walking in, I'm holding up the shirt, pointing into it. How much would you pay for this shirt?
Can you roll me an intelligence check?
me?
Yep.
A nat 1.
Crit fail.
Oh no, we're gonna be defeated by the salesman on the first thing we're trying to fence.
Lucia looks right at this shirt, and she knows in her heart of hearts she wouldn't sell that for anything. That's a priceless shirt to her.
What?
Oh God.
I'll let Lucia figure out why that was priceless to her, but it's priceless in her mind.
Lucia just walks away.
This is due to the intelligence being low.
No, she's just gonna walk away.
I grab the shirt from Silver's hands and just walk over because I'm getting frustrated.
Wait a minute. I'm sitting there like I'm trying to grab Dallas's arm, even though he's like dragging me across the floor. Like I just imagine it like my heels are trying to be digging in. I'm like being slid across as he's walking still. Like that's not Lucia's shirt, is it? She seemed kind of angry. Is that Lucia's shirt?
No, it's fine. We need to get rid of it. It's heavy.
Okay, so he will if you're actually handing the shirt over to the guy, then he's going to accept it, and
yeah,
he's going to quickly slide 30 gold pieces over to you. Like, okay, now get the shit out of my fucking place. just leave, please.
I'm gonna take it and walk away.
and I walk behind him. It's just murmuring underneath my breath as we go.
Yep, and so you can add 30 gold to your reservoir, however you guys are doing that.
We'll put it in Dalhis's for now, like just for keeping it simple.
However you guys are splitting things or doing whatever.
So when they get back outside, Lucy is gonna have, what was I holding? Like a sword?
You had a scimitar or something like that, right?
Yeah, there we go. So she's gonna be like holding it out to them. And
to these two?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and she's gonna be like, get rid of this. I'm done.
All right, I'd like to go to a store where we can bulk sell everything at once.
Okay, so you find
I'll take the scimitar and put it
Mr.
in my...
Megorium's Wonder Fantasy Emporium down the street, where you feel like you can start selling everything.
Okay, so let's tally up all the things that we have to sell. It's a small knife, a shield, my blacksmith's clothes, and a scimitar. And what else did we have?
Did you have a scimitar too? Because I'll add the scimitar to mine.
I didn't have a scimitar. No, I didn't. I had a shield and a small knife, and then I was going to sell my
So
if my blacksmith clothes, if
with Michelle's, I have 2 scimitars and a short bow.
Okay.
So while they're doing this, Lucy is going to go off in search of information. Or at least a place where she thinks she can get information.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Is she going to like announce that she's about to leave though?
No.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, pretty map.
It is something I just threw together.
It is pretty though.
Okay. So you guys were over on the west side. We'll say I need to do the
Hold the click.
Go. Yeah.
Okay.
You guys seeing that over on the west side?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where did we enter from?
You guys entered from the east, so I'm going to say that you guys came in from down here.
Okay.
Oh, you guys would have come in from up here. I apologize.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
we were north. Okay.
So we walked through a good bit of it. So, okay. All right.
Yeah. So I would say that your pathing was probably like, coming in through. You guys just kind of took the main road to get into this general area on the west here. Okay, so that's 2 scimitars, a shield, blacksmith's clothes, and 1 short bow, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you guys are going to send in 1 person to do the negotiating on this.
Yeah, that's fine. It definitely like, and I'm, at this point it'd just be like the one roll to see and go from there.
Yep. That's what I'm saying. So who's going to do the negotiating?
I want to.
All right. Silver is doing
what if I want to?
Silver is
roll
doing
for
the
it?
negotiating.
I will roll for it.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll
D20. Just do,
just
do opposing
D20s. Okay.
do opposing
His rolls
D20s.
6.
20.
Damn.
7.
Wow.
All
All right.
So we do rock, paper, scissors, basically, and we decide that I'm going to do it.
I know, right?
Okay.
And
All right.
as a give everything over to Silver, I go ask him if he has a bigger map of the country.
Will do.
Silver?
Yep.
I am going to need a persuasion check out of Silver.
No problem. Persuasion it is. Whoop,
Nice. 20. Not a natural, but
Nope,
a modified 20.
Yep.
So what you're going to do now is you are going to do a D100 plus 20.
A D100 plus 20. Okay. D100 plus 20. Okay. 63.
63. So through all of your negotiations, you were able to get 63 gold pieces
Okay.
out of all that stuff that you stole from people.
Well,
I mean, legally acquired.
Finders keepers due to their death is, legal.
Because they were losers weepers in the battle of life and death.
Yes, exactly. So in that case, I'll just, for now, I'll just add that gold to my own and then we'll divvy it up later. So that's fine.
Okay. Did you get a map?
I asked him about the map. What did they say?
He, I'm going to say that you guys showed him your guys' map. You're like, hey, can we get a better one here? And he looks at you and he goes, well, I mean, we could get you a couple other smaller maps of other regions, but that's actually pretty detailed for the area that we know of. So that's about what I'd be able to probably point you to around here. I don't know if somebody else has a random map that is a random map that's a lot better than that one. That's about as good as I've seen, but I haven't really looked.
Gotcha. So I come out and go, yeah, dude's no help.
Okay. Can we go find a job board? See if there's a fighting tournament.
I say, let's grab Lucia and find that job board, buddy.
Where did she go?
Do we have any idea where she went at this point? We'll ask Craig if maybe
we should probably find the church.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
So we'll switch over to Lucia, and Lucia throughout this, don't take these buildings as exact replicas for what they are. Just that's just a general idea I came up with.
I gotcha.
You found a number of churches in this area. Most of them are away from the city center. They're kind of on the outskirts ish, like the outside roads of the city. But as you've walked, go ahead.
Probably near like places like this.
Yeah. They're not exact.
Okay.
Yeah. And they're usually on the inside. They're not next to the wall for the most part. They're kind of on the inside road of the like furthest out roads you could go.
Got it.
But you found them kind of scattered all over the city like that, just all around. So based on some of your searching around while you're in the church and whatnot, you saw some of the gods, Some of them made sense. Most of them were names that you had read before, or the icons above their church head were ones that you've seen before. You did notice one library. It did have how much would you okay, if you were going across and kind of circling around,
like a dedicated library, you're saying?
Yeah, it's a dedicated library. Okay. Would you be going to the churches first? Would you be going to the libraries first?
I'd probably go to the library first if there's that many churches available.
Okay.
Because she's also never seen a dedicated library, so she's kind of like, whoa.
Yeah. So the dedicated library, can I get a perception check from the other two?
Yeah, sure. Perception. Where are you? Perception.
All his rolls an 8.
And Silver gets an 11.
Okay. When you saw Lucia hand you guys some stuff, you saw what direction she kind of took off in.
Okay.
I just wanted to see that real quick. So you're able to look around. You walked around, not a majority of the city, but a good chunk. Like there's a river kind of splitting the city, as you guys see. Mm-hmm. Where south of the river, there's a section that's not really all that densely populated, but north of the river is a majority of the city. It's probably 2/3, maybe 3/4 of the city in a sense, based on buildings. So, Lucia, you kind of went around the whole outskirts of the city to kind of see most of these churches, and you did find the library. We're going to say the library is roughly around
Okay.
Which is kind of like almost due north in the city, just kind of right in the middle north, but near the outskirts. And so you would have saw that, and you kind of just went in. Can you give me a D100 real quick, though? All right, and then can the other two give me a D100? Just one of you. First one wins. 61. Okay. So you get in there, and you have time to kind of start looking around, and you're seeing books that you've seen before, or you're seeing things, maybe not obviously the exact same books, like it's there's a printing press somewhere, but it looks like information that you've been around before. Okay. Tale of the Gods. Okay. And you kind of opened it up and flipped, and you're like, this is all information we've seen before, or information I've seen before. You flipped it through another book. Well, this is pretty much information I've seen before. You flip through another book. Oh, this is pretty much information you've seen before. So you're not impressed by the library's actual holdings. You think it's a great thing that, I guess I'm inferring that you might think it's that this library is available for people to come in there and check out, but it's not anything. You've seen a lot of this. You've done a lot of wandering around, and everywhere you go do research. Right. So you're kind of not surprised, because you've run into this before in other small towns. Okay. Whenever you found information, it's usually kind of the same. Same stuff. Everybody has book A, it feels like, and then the next couple people will have book B, and then the little bit bigger cities will have book C. So if you really spent some time there, you might find some new information. But
first impressions are
I've seen this movie before. Can one of you guys, actually both of you, roll perceptions again? Yep. The two guys that are wandering about.
I rolled a 13. Well, technically 15 but minus 2, so 13.
Dalhis rolls a 7.
Okay, so you guys start coming around, and you see the library. You were wandering because you guys were looking for Lucia, right?
Yeah.
You guys were wandering. You saw the library. You both looked at each other and went, "She's in there." And you guys start walking in, and you kind of pick up that you feel like. Silver, you have an idea of decorum of, okay, libraries, aren't they supposed to be maybe not quiet, but okay, when you got in there, you noticed, hey, it's kind of quiet and nobody's making a racket. I mean, it's not a huge building or anything, and you're not thinking like a grand library that we've been into, or like a university library or anything, but it's maybe like a 2-story little building here, and everybody that is in there, everybody's being kind of quiet and whatnot. Dalhis sort of picks this up. So you guys walk in, and you see Lucia kind of in the back, sitting at a table with one of the books.
All right. I'm gonna walk over to her. Lucia, hey, look, I know you like these books and stuff. We got to go.
She kind of looks at him. Go for what?
Well, remember we were working on trying to test out our equipment and all that stuff? I got this idea. Dallas and I were thinking about going to the job board. We make some money, test out our stuff, have, whatever. Let's just do it.
Yeah, what he said.
She sighs and she goes, I guess I better go so you don't steal the board again.
It's a Silver smirks and goes, I totally would have.
You stole the board last time? I thought you only stole the paper. That's impressive. I didn't know you had the strength.
Lucia face palms.
Silver just brushes off his shoulder as in the sense that he doesn't correct Dallas. He's like, yep, I sure did.
I pat him on the back, probably a little bit too loud for the library. Well done.
So I guess we file out of the library and start looking for looking for work, looking for something to do, essentially,
Yeah, Lucia's just muttering that she didn't find anything useful anyway.
Okay, so you guys take your leave out this way down. Okay, just let me click where I want to click, or just go to the middle of wherever the fuck. There we go.
Wherever the fuck.
You guys are kind of heading down this way, south down this road. Maybe you stopped and asked a couple people about any particular jobs. There's a lot of people talking the same thing. We're like, oh yeah, you can go down to the docks and help haul fish in, for a couple copper pieces a day or a couple silver pieces a day, whatever they might whatever they might have. But there was one fellow that kind of looked at you and goes, oh, you guys look like hardy people. Have you guys checked the job board over in the whatever district area?
Yep, that one.
And so he kind of points you out towards the in front of the castle where roughly kind of in the middle here of the city.
Okay.
That is an actual castle then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So right around in the middle of the city, there's a job boardish type thing right there where you see some people. It's kind of near the market district. I would say the market district's more kind of down in the southwest area of the northern section of the city, and then your kind of armor salesman and all this stuff was over here on the full west side. This entire west half is pretty much all commerce in some way.
Got it.
Either by food or by services or by whatever it might be. That's pretty much this whole west half.
Is that where the inns would be too?
Yeah, there's a couple inns there. There's some inns over in the residential area too, that you may have passed by and you noticed they were a little nicer. And so maybe it was anybody that rolls above a 5 would kind of have picked up like, oh, that's probably where the people that have a little bit more money go. So it's quieter. So in the morning, they don't hear hammers of the blacksmith and people yelling at the market and stuff like that. Definitely the cheaper and less safe area is over on the west side.
And it's where the taverns are.
Gotcha. Yes, and the taverns are on that side. No taverns. The only commercial... the only business allowed over here on the east side of the city, north of the river. Everything south of the river here is pretty much residential and like farmers.
Got it.
Like their kind of stuff.
Okay.
Everything on this east side that's kind of less densely populated. This is all residential, and then the west side from this street over basically is all
I got it.
Commercial, and I mean obviously some of the people live above their shops and shit like that. But okay, so you guys head over to the job board and you see, there's people kind of around it and whatnot, but most of them are like, yeah, bullshit, I'm doing that job. I'm not getting myself killed. Kind of hear that type of muttering as they're walking away.
Makes me excited and lean in more. So definitely want to look at the job board and go and see what if there are options for us.
You're seeing quite a few little things here. There's one where there's a guy asking for a little bit of help. There's a monster out to the east that he wants to slay, and he wants its hide. And he is really wanting somebody to go out and get that for him.
Did he say what type of monster other than that it's just a monster that has a hide?
Yes, but I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Okay, no problem.
It looks like somebody that has, and that one looked like it was not hastily scrawled on paper, but you can tell, there's difference between these, and I'll tell you why you kind of see that. You see like another job board posting where it is in like the most perfect calligraphy, perfect writing. There's a seal on the top, and anybody that beats basically a 5 check on this would realize that seal, not exactly what the seal is, but the material is only seals you've seen on things of people that are just the super wealthy, and and this whole thing is written in almost a condescending manner about how they need somebody to go to this city to get back their husband has been taken for ransom. There you go. That's the word I was trying to find the whole time. So there's that, and it's just big, loopy, fancy writing, almost to the point where you're like, Dalhis looks at it and goes, he can't tell sometimes if it's not in another language because it's so like ornate and whatnot. There's a couple other ones that you guys, there's a bunch of shit on this board, but there's a lot of them that are still hey, do you guys want to go shovel manure for 12 hours a day? Guys can come do that.
That sounds like an adventure.
But these are the ones that you kind of see. And then there's another one where a guy's specifically seeking helping over to the south. Let me go over to my map real quick. To the southwest, southwest, up in the hills south of Davie, basically. A guy's wanting help kill what he has put on there, named as the Cobalt Lord.
I don't like the inferior of my kind. They bring me bad names. Let's get that fucker.
So you want to go kill this Cobalt Lord?
Of course.
I sit there, I look at the job board. Does it say anything about price on the head of the Cobalt Lord?
You don't see any prices. It's you kind of think that it might be only serious inquiries will be talked to.
Okay.
In the corner though, Dalhis, can you give me a perception check? Actually, all three of you guys can give me a perception check.
Sure.
Dalhis rolls a 9.
I roll. Silver rolls a 14.
And Lucia gets a 23.
Whoa,
okay.
Again.
I told you all my good rolls go into perception.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm gonna give you a chance. I'm gonna roll through it this way while kind of looking over this board. Lucia, you notice in the bottom right corner there's like I'll say a poster. It's not covered up, but it is off in the corner where your eye might not be drawn to it. And there's papers around it to where it's behind things, but it's definitely still prominent, if that makes sense. Like you can't see the edges of the paper anymore because there's so many other things like posted around it.
Yeah, it's like it was posted first and then things were just kind of posted.
You can still definitely see it. And people can see this, but you can tell it might not pop out immediately until you look at it. There is a poster for the fighting tournament that's happening in Arire, and it's like a big Sunday. The fighting tournament in Arire is happening, and the winner of that is going to be the last entrant into the region-wide fighting tournament that is going to be taking place here in Davie later on. So it's kind of like trying to hype everybody up to get ready for this fighting tournament that's going down in Arire. It's still trying to finish up in Arire, but it's gonna come here afterwards. But the last entrant has to win the Arire tournament for them to make it here. So you see this, and you look around, and you don't think the other two have seen this yet.
Okay, I'm gonna kind of in relation to that then. Where is the one that's in the fancy handwriting? This is relevant. Sorry, I know it's a stupid specific question, but it's relevant.
I think I know what you're going for, so I'm trying to figure out. Give me a D100, Michelle.
99.
It is actually. I'm going to say it's really close by. It's about. It might even be one of the ones that's slightly covering up the corner on it.
Okay, so she's just gonna kind of casually lean against the poster then, and she's gonna point to the one with the fancy handwriting.
Okay,
would that be like doable? I guess.
In my head, this is just where it was. In my head, was Dalhis was on your right, you were in the middle, Silver was on your left. You guys were about one row deep. You guys weren't the ones right next to the board. And I wish I would have been able to. I didn't think about putting it out this way.
Gotcha.
And in my head, the bottom right is where the fighting tournament poster was. So
It would be in front of
I'm
Dollhouse.
going to say, I'm going to go say, yeah, but he rolled a 9, so you got lucky on that one.
Yeah.
Common isn't his best language. I'm going to give you a chance to do a performance check
Oh my god.
to see how well you kind of like sit in front of it.
3.
Okay, and can I get a
It's really a 2, but you got a +1.
can I get a perception check from the other two?
Sure. Perception check. I got
Don't
I got a 2, but -2 is 0.
Dalhis rolls a 15.
So Lucia goes over and kind of like awkwardly struts over to where that part of the job board is and leans in front and kind of leans against it, and she starts pointing at the fancily script one. Silver thinks it looks like the most natural thing in the world, like, oh, she's really wanting to bring our attention to this other thing. Dalhis looks at it and he just sees the look in her face just looks like what his little brothers and sisters used to try and do when they were trying to get away with something, like that innate, like trying to get away with something type thing. So he notices that she like sits weird on the board, and he can tell, like, is she trying to cover something up?
Are you okay, Lucia?
Yeah, I'm great. I just think we should help this lady instead of killing something.
I can't even read that, though.
I can. Her husband was taken for ransom. We're not going to pay the ransom, but we could try to go change that situation.
I kind of raise one of my, I don't even know if I have eyebrows, but I have eye sockets, so whatever.
Let's actually get a deception check from Lucia on that.
Okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yes. This is getting good.
This might be the first time she's lied in her life. 14.
She does a 14. Okay. I want to make this where it's like opposing things. So what would be the opposite of the deception check? Like what would be in your guys' mind? What
would it be perception?
I think it would be
just
perception.
Be perception again?
Because there's no intent thing anymore, right?
Yeah.
Oh, he beat
Okay.
it.
Dalhis rolls a 16.
So you kind of pick up, you're like, nope, this is just like insert brother and sister names. You're like, she's lying about something. And
Can I roll insight to see if I'm picking up on any of this?
yeah, well, let's do an insight check on you. See how you're
8.
It's not going completely over your head. You're just sitting there like, but you're confused.
Yeah.
You're not ignorant, but you're confused. You're like, what the hell's going on? You see him kind of, Lucia's kind of like shyly smiling, and Dalhis is kind of glaring, and you're like, the hell's happening? You're still, Silver's still smiling during this whole thing, but going what the hell's going on?
I look at Lucia and go, you are acting like my younger sister, Havilar, excuse me. Are you hiding something from me?
No.
Deception check.
Is a cleric lying to me?
A 9.
Perception
She rolled
perk.
a 9.
Perception perk. Okay. I had modifiers in my head on that. So Dalhis, you guys basically tied in my head.
Okay.
Because he already is really suspecting you of lying.
Right.
So you guys
Makes
kind of
sense.
tied, so that nothing really came out of it besides you're both still like, I might win this.
At this
Roll
point,
again?
I move a little bit closer and try to like pull her a little bit to the right.
I doubt you would have trouble doing that. I don't know if Craig wants us to roll, but I know for a fact that
Are you going to
there's-
try and fight it though?
I mean, I probably wouldn't be really expecting it.
Okay, well, we'll do that. We'll do a
To be honest,
we'll do a strength check from Dalhis just to see how much he actually puts into the please move to the side.
accidentally throws her against the wall. Like,
yeah. So, I mean, if he had nat 20, it would have been enough to just move you. He wouldn't have actually thrown you.
Yeah,
But 17 is still plenty enough where he moves you. Now, one more time, just to have the dice decide. Can you give me a perception check, Dalhis?
Dalhis rolls an 11.
Okay, so with that, he just couldn't fail it. He looks down and he sees the fighting tournament poster. Did you hear everything about the fighting tournament poster?
Yes,
okay.
I did.
You see that fighting tournament poster. And I'm pretty sure your eyes
get,
widen and you get happy.
I get a big smile on my face and go.
So
and then I look at it and I'm clueless to why Lucia is trying to hide this, obviously, and I just go, you were you? I don't even know what to say. I was like, we need to go back to Oriar, and then we can come back here. I am an excellent fighter. There's
a person nearby. He kind of looks over and goes, you might make it in the amateur tournament. I wouldn't try the professional fighting tournament, though. You might be able to make it to the amateur one and maybe make it here a little bit later on. You're a big boy. I think you probably handle yourself in that one.
What's the amateur one?
Well, that's for people that are, that haven't fought. You would have already been entered into the pro one. So obviously you'd be going into the amateur tournament and
the Oriar one is the
While
amateur
they're
one.
conversing, Lucy is going to kind of peek around to Silver and be like, "Help me!"
At this point, have I figured out what's happening? Like, or am I still in the dark?
I think you probably saw my excitement and
I saw your excitement, but do I know what he's excited about?
So when your attention was brought over because you saw Dalhis kind of look at the poster, and so you were able to pick up on the poster, what's on the poster and the information on it, while he did at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so at this point, I know, and based on that and what this guy said about the amateur one, meaning the Oriar fight is the amateur fight and all that stuff, and she's saying, "Help me." I
would say it's reasonable that you picked up what she was trying to get you to help with.
Oh yeah.
Whether or not you actually help.
I was about to say, but Silver, being Silver, is actually thinking the opposite of what Lucia is thinking in this case, because what he's thinking is this: it's an amateur fight. It's going to be worth a good chunk of change, and it's not going to be on I'm going to call it like the regional stage of like this city, so there won't be as many eyes on him. And at this point, now that he knows what we're up against and how much money we'll probably need for it, he's actually more in the corner of Dalhis on this one, and he actually starts gassing him up. He's like, Dalhis, buddy, we're going back to Oriar. You won on that punching arm, buddy. You're gonna win yourself a tournament.
Lucia gets actually very visibly angry. She's gonna take the posting, the fancily written one, and walk away angry.
Meanwhile, Silver is standing behind Dalhis, and although he can't quite reach his upper shoulders to give the massage thing, he's doing his best. And he's like, you got this, buddy. You got this. We're gonna go in. It's like we're gonna win ourselves some money. And don't worry, Lucy will come around.
Which direction was the what did you call it, the little king thing,
or the
head kobold? What's that, south of us?
South.
Okay, so it's opposite direction.
Yeah, so here I'll move you over and just kind of give you an idea. I didn't move myself.
I kind of got the feeling that none of these jobs were actually in the same areas, by the way.
Yeah,
they all kind of felt like they were all like one was east, one was north, one was southwest.
I gotta hand myself down.
If you're trying to do the whole kill two birds with one stone thing.
So if you guys go a little southwest of Davie, if you guys see where I'm kind of emanating
like
out,
a 6 or 7 day.
Yeah, that's the rough area. So it's kind of in the hills just to the west of the Landfest Woods. So just to give you an idea, that's where you think it's going to go from the information. It's not like you had a super specific. No, this hill.
So at this point, I'm going to turn to Silver and go, so glad to see you've come around. But I think we need to leave within, probably tomorrow morning to make it back to the tournament in time.
As in that point, I'd read over the poster again, and I'm sure I'd realize he's right at that. That if we're going to do it, we'd have to leave right away.
Yeah, you guys both assume correctly that this tournament's taking place pretty soon, if not already underway. You're unsure, so you know that it'd have to be a quicker departure for it.
All right,
it's definitely later in the day right now. The time it took you to travel into Davie and walking around, buying, selling, going to the library, it's getting a little bit later in the day. So I'm assuming that you guys are smart enough to know, like, okay, we're not leaving tonight though. Like,
Right.
it's a
what I would
little too
assume.
late. We're not going to try and make a couple extra hours before we have to kind of stop off anyway. So
Right. So at that point, we'll just basically say, all right, we'll grab Lucia, get a night's rest, try to convince her during dinner, and head out in the morning. It's like, but just to be safe, Silver reaches over and I'd like to take the other jobs off the board.
Yeah,
Not all of them, just the other two that I was interested in, the copper one and whatever, or the cobalt one. I mean, and the whatever it's called, the other the monster one, because she technically took the other one. So
you definitely hear some people like, holy shit, there's people actually doing those ones. Wow, those have been up there forever.
I turn to give him a slight bow.
Were we walking away when you bowed? Returning to walk?
Yes.
I probably tripped over him as he bowed.
I gotta remember, this isn't the Dalhus that knows high fives.
No, it's not.
Yeah, that is.
That was the pumpkin lie. Dalhus knows it has the high five thing.
Yeah, I did have a strange stream, and it might come up. Thanks for ruining my funny movements in the future.
Because I was thinking you were going to turn around and high five, and I was like, oh no, that was the pumpkin lie Dalhus.
Yep.
All right, is there anything else that you guys are going to talk about?
No,
This,
we got a whole thing to figure out as far as what we're doing next, but it seems like we got some good options, and we'll go from there.
So I'm assuming, I guess, Lucia, did we meet back up at the or at the hotel or whatever we met?
I'm not in a tavern.
No. Like when I say tavern, it's a place to eat, like whatever. Like so we'll meet up. Yeah. We'll meet up with her, and then we'll figure it out.
Well, yeah, you guys definitely had I'm going to say that while you guys were walking around, you kind of picked out one of the spots that you would have all met back at, because you guys frequently get separated in towns. So you guys have a standing plan of like, oh, this looks like the good place for us to go.
Okay.
So
yeah.
So we get there, we have dinner, we go to bed. I guess we're getting separate rooms.
No. We'll actually let you guys cover that next time, just to make sure there's nothing else that pops up tonight.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Well, thank you guys, everybody, for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next week.